Coming up on The Potter's Touch.
That's how you know you have greater income, influence, or impact. It is the attack that informs you that you have now become serious enough to be on the attack list of the enemy. If you are not being attacked, it's because you don't have enough impact. And the devil said, I'm not going to waste an attack on somebody who doesn't have impact. Do you understand what, oh God, do you hear what I'm saying to you?
This is the Potter's Touch.
Welcome to the Potter's Touch. I am Serita JAKES. To be honest, this message really needs no introduction, but I know it's going to bless you tremendously. Can't wait for you to check it out. Serving a higher purpose.
So I talked to you a little bit about income, and I talked to you a little bit about influence. And I want to close and tell you about impact. 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 God will give you impact for a higher purpose. If you have income, or you have influence, or you have great impact, you're going to be hated. The greater you have of the three, the greater you have of the three, the greater enemies you will have in your life. You have great income, or you have great influence, or you have great impact, you're going to be under attack. In fact, that's how you know you have greater income, influence, or impact. It is the attack that informs you that you have now become serious enough to be on the attack list of the enemy. If you are not being attacked, it's because you don't have enough impact. And the devil said, I'm not going to waste an attack on somebody who doesn't have impact. Do you understand what, oh God, do you hear what I'm saying to you? And I thought I would tell you this story about 15 years ago, 14, 15 years, something like that. My ministry was just exploding. It was just going some kind of way I'd never seen before. And there were lines for a 7 o'clock service that was starting at noon. They were wrapped around the building and crying if they got turned away. TV stations were exploding everywhere. It was on the cover of every major magazine across the country. And I ran into a level of haters like I had never seen before. It's one thing to read about people attacking somebody else, but it's another thing when it's you. You can sit back and say what somebody ought to do and how they ought to handle it, and don't let it bother you, child. Child wasn't paying no attention. It's not you. It's not your name. And they'd written a story about me in the Washington Post. And what I didn't understand is when a major journalist writes a story about you, they give not only voice to you, but voice to your enemies in an attempt to what they call balance the story. They will seek out your enemies and give your enemy a voice as level as the platform as you are, even though that enemy, people don't even know that guy's name, but all of a sudden he is an expert on you. And generally he's never even met you. 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 And it seems so unfair. And so they said some good stuff, but they had all of my enemies in there, and they had something to say to it, and I wasn't used to it. And I admit it, I was discouraged. I'd been angry. Discouraged is past angry. So you get angry first. But when you get angry and there's no resolution to anger, it turns into discouragement. And I had to preach. And I didn't want to preach, and I was preaching in D.C. But when you're in a position where God gives you impact, you have to do it whether you feel like doing it or not. And you almost have to be a RoboCop where you can just bury your feelings and go into autopilot and do what you do and just do it anyway. And I can do that. I mean, the whole house can be on fire, and I can still get up here and I can shoot under fire. You'd never even know that my britches was smoking. I'm telling you right now, I can do it. It is no indication. No indication. You can look at the video and you can't see no indication that on the inside I was so discouraged, I couldn't even see straight. I couldn't even see straight. I mean, just really, really discouraged. I preached that night and preached for Donnie Mears, and they had an after-hours fellowship, and they said, we were in the after-hours fellowship. They said, there's a lady in the crowd that wants to see you. We'd had a great service. Spirit had fallen. People were blessed. Because I'm committed to my purpose, I don't let my pain stop my purpose. You know, I got to do what I got to do, no matter how I feel about it. I'm committed to my purpose. But inside, I was in pain, and I was feeling sorry for myself, and I felt like they were unfair, and I felt like they didn't understand me, and they didn't give me a chance to respond to what the critics said, and the information wasn't right. And I told God, you know, this don't make any sense. You know, I didn't ask for this. I never asked you for this. I never asked you. Never a day in my life did I ever ask God to make me famous. Not one day in my life, not one day. I don't even know why anybody would want to be. It's just mind-boggling to me. And so I was feeling, I can't even articulate where I was feeling because I'd have to go back to that place. I don't even want to visit it enough to describe it to you. That's how bad it was. And I'm preaching, and my heart is like somewhere down by my knee. Discouraged. I'm young and I'm blessed beyond measure. I'm eating manna. I mean, I'm getting blessings from places they're not even supposed to come from, but with blessings comes burdens and bruises and pain. And I was so discouraged. And they said, this lady's down there, she wants to see you. And I said, well, tell her I'm in this fellowship my host is having, but if she waits till the fellowship is over, I'll come down. Now, there have been long lines and been hours of waiting to get in. And they've been in the service, and now we're in the after-hours fellowship, and it's quite late, Sharon. And we got through talking. I said, is the lady that you all were talking about still downstairs? She said, yeah. I didn't want to see her. I thought if another person asked me for another thing, I will just die. How do you expect me to keep on encouraging people? And I'm getting shot every kind of way. Do they think I'm a machine? It's late, I'm tired, I didn't even want to come. And I said, I don't want to see her, but I knew she'd been waiting a long time. And I said, yeah, I'll go see her. So I got my coat, and I went down there. And this woman, I regret to this day, I didn't get her name and stuff to this day. This woman, she was real thin and frail. She said, I've been in the hospital. And she said, I've been so sick. And, this story is hard for me to tell. Woo! She said, I was pregnant with twins. And she said, one embryo was inside of the other one. And she said, whatever happened, it was some kind of a medical malady that the babies were rotting inside of me. And she said, I was so sick She said, they pulled my babies out dead, and I was so sick and infected. She said, I almost died too. She said, the only thing that kept me going she said, the only thing that kept me going was hearing you preach on TV. She said, every time I thought I was just gonna die, she said, you come on and say, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. She said, and it kept me going. She said, so I got out of the hospital, and she said, I'm weak, and she said, I'm sick, and I had to stand in line and go through all of this to get to see you, and I've been waiting all of this time. She said, I just got one thing to tell you. She said, it's for us, Bishop. She said, it's for us. She said, it's for us that you do it. She said, it's not for them. She said, it's for us, Bishop. And she said, it's for us. It's not for them. She said, it's for us. And I thought, how does this woman know that I want to quit so bad? I can't see straight. That some kind of way I had gotten it backwards in my head. Somewhere along the way, my desire to be liked had overcome my purpose. And I thought it was for them. And she reminded me, you're not going to ever satisfy them. She said, what you do is for us. She said, it's for people like me who are sick and hurt and dying. She said, I can't speak for nobody else. But she said, it is for us.
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
You have to have something that you live for that's bigger than money, that's bigger than prestige, that's bigger than opportunity. You have to have something that is more important, because you are going to live and you're going to die. And if it was just about cars and it was just about houses and it was about nothing at all, it has to be something that drives you, that's bigger than your circumstance and bigger than your situation. So whether you're on the mountaintop or whether you're on the valley or whether you got a whole lot or whether you're going through a test, it does not matter. What matters the most is that you have something that you believe in.
It's an amazing experience. It's an opportunity to learn, and from Bishop Jakes, to learn from what he's experienced, to understand what leadership is, to understand what it is to be a pastor.
God has a place for you to go and to preach and to touch, and until you finish your purpose, no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper.
This year, we decided to bring most of our leaders so they can hear the life-changing message. It's critical, it's essential. I recommend it to anybody.
I've seen others talk about it, but I have experienced it and witnessed it. It's like none other. Save your money, do whatever you got to do to get here, because your ministry, your life will never be the same.
You don't do things for critics, for enemies. It's not about your haters. It's not about people who misunderstand you. It's not about what they think and what they heard and how they feel. When you live on purpose, when you live on purpose, the moment you remember your purpose, nothing that your enemies do and nothing that they ever say will ever stop you again. You have to have something that you live for that's bigger than money, that's bigger than prestige, that's bigger than opportunity. You have to have something that is more important, because you are going to live and you're going to die. And if it was just about cars and it was just about houses and it was about nothing at all, it has to be something that drives you, that's bigger than your circumstance and bigger than your situation. So whether you're on the mountaintop or whether you're on the valley or whether you got a whole lot or whether you're going through a test, it does not matter. What matters the most is that you have something that you believe in that is bigger than your circumstances and bigger than your situation and bigger than what you are going through, and that you live your life on purpose. Do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? And so if you're really going to have a life that is filled with purpose, if you're really going to have a life that stands for something that's more than a paycheck, that's more than what people think, somewhere in your life you got to have a towel wrapped around you that says, I'm doing it for you, Lord. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for what people say. I'm not doing it for my ex-husband. I'm not doing it for my ex-wife. I'm not doing it for my mother-in-law. I'm not doing it for my Uncle Bob. I am doing what I'm doing because I live for a higher purpose. And the Lord sent me here this morning to challenge you. Will you take the towel and serve somebody other than you? Other than you, does your life serve a purpose? Does your life, I mean beyond paychecks and going to work and paying the rent and taking care of stuff and doing what you do, is, do you serve anybody? Do you help anybody? I'm talking about your husband and your kids. You're supposed to do that. Excuse me for using bad English, but it fit my mood. You're supposed to do that. Are you so busy going after the crown that you will not pick up this towel? Do you serve a higher purpose? I thought, my God, this woman's not an evangelist. She's not a preacher to my knowledge or nothing. She preached the greatest message I ever heard in my life, because she reminded me at a low moment, it's for us. Every now and then, when I go through a real bad place and I can't find anybody to say anything to make me want to lay down and let another person walk on me again, I can hear that sick, trembling voice from that wounded woman saying, it's for us, Bishop. It's for us. You see, my ministry has always been to hurting people. It always has been, and probably always will be. And I almost forgot that they that are not sick don't need no physician. Those who have not been in the wilderness will never understand my ministry. Until you have been bitten by the serpents and the cockatrice, you will always find some reason not to appreciate what I came to say. I found that thing I was born to do, that I was created to do. And I'm going to live my life on purpose. It does not have to be big, and it does not have to be prestigious, and it doesn't have to make you rich, and it doesn't have to make you famous. But before you suck your last breath in your lungs, serve. Don't come to a church and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Supper is ended. Supper is ended. Lay aside your garments, your agenda and your pride and your arrogance and your need to be acknowledged, and get yourself a towel and serve your generation. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter what you go through, no matter how you're attacked or your family or your friends are attacked, serve a purpose or shut up. For God's sake. I'm glad to see you come every Sunday. I love you. I really do. But I'm telling you right now, you can't just eat and eat and eat and eat. Will you serve? Will you do something to take this towel and serve? It could be pouring water. It could be pouring water. It could be ushering. It could be visiting sick people in the hospital. It could be picking up somebody old from the nursing home who don't have a ride to church. But would you please, if God gives you a car, make sure you use it to give somebody a ride. If he gives you food, feed somebody that you don't charge. If he gave you a talent, use it to lift somebody. Your service may not always be in a pulpit. It may not always be in a choir stand. It may not always even be in church. But does it serve a purpose higher than you? And the Lord started preparing me early yesterday morning to offer you a towel. To just offer you a towel. You're retired? Really? Why should God give you more days to sit around if you're not going to serve somebody? You're too young to serve? Really? Why should God invest in a selfish desire to be another glutton in the kingdom. When you serve people, God will provide, God will protect, God will guide you.
The beauty of service is that you can't lose when you serve. Have a heart of humility, challenge those around you to pick up their towels and serve as well, and know that the world will be made better because you've answered that call. I want to thank our partners for your continued support of the Potter's Touch. If it wasn't for you, we would not be able to touch millions of lives around the world. We could not do it without you, don't want to see it without you, and look forward to growing with you. Join us here next time on the Potter's Touch.
Now every sermon is about the benefits, but the only problem is nobody's doing the job. How are you eligible for the benefits when you don't do the job? The only reason you're afraid is because you are filled up with yourself. But when you get filled up with him, you will not be afraid.
With your gift of any size, you'll receive Bishop's message Out of Service on CD from the Full Tank series. And with your gift of $70 or more, you'll receive the entire 3-part series Full Tank on DVD.
Does Christ hang around you, or does he live inside of you? He wants to go from being around you to being in you.
However, with your gift of $160 or more, you'll receive Full Tank on DVD and our Christmas gift collection, which includes the Message of Christmas booklet, a box set of inspirational cards, and Joy, Hope, and Peace candle holders. Rev up your engine and go the distance on a Full Tank today.
MegaFest is returning to Dallas, Texas, August 20th through 22nd. And we've got even more in the best 3-day faith and family festival on the planet. Inspiration, music, comedy, entertainment, youth, and more is coming back to thrill you again. MegaFest 2013 was awesome, but MegaFest 2015 is going to be even bigger and better. Register now at mega-fest.com.
If you're here and you're saying, God, help me to take a towel and become better at using my influence, my income, my impact to serve something bigger than me. This is personal. I think it's a call to discipleship. I think it's a call to stop being a churchgoer and to really be a disciple. I think it's a call for you to really commit your way unto the Lord and stop living your life for you. It's old, and y'all don't have to sing it, but for the last month, I've been humming, must Jesus bear the cross alone? And all the world go free.
This is the